Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making my version of Jason from the Friday the 13th movies. He is going to be all one piece from the head, the arms, the body, the legs. You're going to want to make sure you put the eyes exactly where I have them. So when you do the face mask, they fit. If you're a little unsure, when you get to about here before we close him up, you can always pop over, do the mask first, and then come back and put the eyes in so they fit exactly where you want to have them. I'm going to be using a lot of film from when I did this guy, just to make it a little easier for me. So don't worry if you start seeing this and you're wondering why it's not these colors. Just make sure you use your colors where you want them, and anywhere important, like where I do the arms, where I do the little flap of his t-shirt and start his pants, I'm coming in with this guy and doing it, except for when we get down here to his shoes. I'm going to keep on going in the light brown, but there'll be a little note telling you to change color. It's about a 5-second break in the video. So this is going to be in 3 parts. This whole guy right here, what you see, will be part 1. Then the mask and the knife will be part 2. And the jacket will be part 3. Everything you need to know will be down in the description. If I make some mistake in my videoing, it'll be corrected in the when I edit. And one more thing, sorry, this is a long one, but I'm getting a lot of people confused with the way I'm videoing. So if you get to 2 arms, at the end of this arm, there's going to be a timestamp, and thank you people for pointing that out. That is a great help. There'll be a timestamp to go back to where this arm starts. So you'll go back to that timestamp, do your second arm, and then continue watching the video starting at the head. And if you ever get lost or confused in the middle of a row, my last quite a few videos, the first 15 seconds along this top right here, I will have instructions for that one whole row or the repeat rows. So if it's row 1, it'll be there. Row 1 to 10 will be up here. So you can always go back to the beginning of the row and double check. It'll have the stitch count and everything you need to know. Sorry, so long. Let's just get going now. I hope you enjoy making this guy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching. Let's get started. Okay, to begin the arm, you're going to pick your hand color or whatever color you are using to start with. And then you are going to make a loop at the end of your string. Insert your hook into the loop. Grab your yarn, pull through, and chain 1. Now that stitch is just to secure your yarn to the loop. That does not count as a stitch. Okay, so for round 1, we're going to put 6 single crochets into the loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now grab your stitch marker if you are using one. And for round 2, we are just going to do 6 increases, which is 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. So starting in our next stitch, I'm going to increase 1 and 2. Increase again, 3 and 4. Increase again, 5 and 6. Increase again, 7 and 8. Increase one more time, 9 and 10. And our last one, increase 11 and 12. Flip your stitch marker. For row 3 to row 5, we're just going to do 12 single crochets all the way around in each stitch. So that's 3 rows, and I'm going to just count 3 times 12 consecutively since I'm not using a stitch marker or a counter. So 1, or row counter, sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Flip your stitch marker and keep on counting. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Flip your stitch marker and keep on counting. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. All right, for row 6, you are going to do 1 single crochet and 1 decrease all the way around for a total of 8. Whoops, I didn't finish that stitch. So 1, and then a decrease, 2, 3, decrease 4, 5, decrease 6, 7, and decrease for 8, but don't finish your stitch because we're going to change our colors. So leave it with 3 loops on the hook, just like that. Don't pull through. Okay, grab your next color and you're going to tie that on. I usually do it about 3 times. And you can cut your hand color now. And you're going to take that new color and you're going to pull it through and finish off that last stitch of the previous row. Tuck them in, flip our stitch marker. Now for rows 7 to rows 13, you're just going to do 8 single crochets all the way around. And I'm again going to do it consecutively, so I will be doing 8 times 4 for the first 4 rows, and then 8 times 3 for the last 3 rows for 7 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flip your stitch marker. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Flip your stitch marker. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Flip your stitch marker. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. So that was 4 rows of 7. So I'm going to start counting again at 1, because that's about my adding skills in my head while I'm doing this. So we got to do 3 more rows to get our 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flip your stitch marker. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Flip your stitch marker. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24, and that's your 7th row. Okay, now you're going to grab a little bit of stuffing. You can get rid of your stitch marker if you want. And we're just going to stuff down in this little part of his hand. I'm going to try not to stretch his arm too much, so I'm going to do it with my hook. And just poke that down in there. For this one, I'm keeping him pretty soft. I'm not making it very firm so that I can kind of flatten his hand out instead of it being a ball. Okay, so get your hook back in. And because I'm using such dark yarn, I might not be able to show this well, but you're going to do 3 single crochets across the top. So you're going to go in on this side, you're going to go in on the back side through both, if you can see the V's of both sides, and then you're just going to make your single crochet. And you're just going to do that the rest of the way down, making sure you're through both the front and the back. 2 and 3. Then you're just going to tie that off and leave yourself a little bit of a tail. To begin, we are just going to make a loop as if we were going to start a chain. So just wrap it around your finger, down and through. We're going to be putting 6 single crochets in there. So make it about just a little bigger than your hook. And we're going to put our hook in the loop, grab yarn, pull through, and just do 1 chain to secure our yarn to our loop. And that does not count as a stitch. So for round 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab your stitch marker if you're using one, and I'm just using a piece of thread. And for round 2, we're going to do 6 increases, so that'll be 2 stitches in every stitch around. So first increase, 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, and our last increase 11 and 12. Flip your stitch marker, and for round 3 we are going to be doing 1 single crochet and 1 increase for a total of 18, and we'll repeat that all the way around. So 1, increase 2 and 3, and then repeat that sequence, 4, 5 and 6, 7, increase 8 and 9, 10, increase 11 and 12, 13, increase 14 and 15, 16, and our last increase 17 and 18. For row 4, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and repeat that all the way around. 1, 2, and our increase, 3 and 4, 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase for 11 and 12, whoops, 13, 14, and our increase 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase 19 and 20, 21, 22, and our last increase 23 and 24. Row 5, we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 increase all the way around, and repeat that for a total of 30. So 1, 2, 3, and an increase, 4 and 5. Repeat that over. 6, 7, 8, and an increase, 9 and 10. 11, 12, 13, and an increase, 14 and 15. 16, 17, 18, and an increase for 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, and our last increase, 29 and 30. Row 6, we are going to do 4 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase 5 and 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, increase 11 and 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, increase 17 and 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, increase, 23 and 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, an increase for 29 and 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, and an increase, 35 and 36. Whoops. For round 7, we're going to do 5 single crochets, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 42. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our increase 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, increase 13 and 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, increase 20 and 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, increase 27 and 28, 29, whoops, 30, 31, 32, 33, and our increase 34 and 35. This should be our last set. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and our increase 41 and 42. For rows 8 to 14, we are just going to do 42 single crochets all the way around, and that'll be 7 rows. I'll do the first row with you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, maybe yarn is catching here, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. Okay, so that would have been row 8. So you're just going to keep continuing on, row 9 to 14. So that'll be 6 more rows, and I will come back and catch you up when we're ready to start row 15. Okay, you should be ready to start row 15, which is going to be 5 single crochets and 1 decrease, and you'll repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll do a decrease for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and a decrease, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, decrease 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, decrease 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, whoops, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36 is a decrease. Row 16 is going to be 4 single crochets, 1 decrease all the way around for a total of 30. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is a decrease. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is a decrease. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 is a decrease. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 is a decrease. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 is a decrease. 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 is a decrease. Row 17 is going to be 3 single crochets and 1 decrease all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 is a decrease. 5, 6, 7, 8 is a decrease. Oops. 9, 10, 11, 12 is a decrease. 13, 14, 15, and 16 is a decrease. 17, 18, 19, 20 is a decrease. 21, 22, 23, and 24 is a decrease. Row 18 is going to be 2 single crochets and 1 decrease for a total of 18. 1, 2, 3 is a decrease. 4, 5, 6 is a decrease. 7, 8, 9 is a decrease. 10, 11, and 12 is a decrease. 13, 14, 15 is a decrease. 16, 17, and 18 is a decrease. Okay, now we're going to attach the arms to the head. So you'll probably have to undo your last stitch of the head. So that was just a decrease for 24, if I recall. Whoops. Leave your three loops on your hook, and now attach your new color. And if you haven't already, cut your head color. And then pull your new color through to finish off your last row. flip your stitch marker. Okay, to begin row 19, you are going to start off with 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to grab your arm, strings facing towards the front, and you're going to put 3 single crochets through the arm and then through the head in the next stitch. So 1 through the arm and the head, 2, and one more time through the arm and through the head. And make sure you're going underneath both sides of that V in your stitch, and that you're going in the next stitch and you're not missing stitches or going in the same stitch. Okay, now in the next stitch we're going to start with 6 single crochets across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then grab your other arm and you're going to do the same thing as before. String facing the front, through the arm, through the next stitch in the head, and you're going to do 3 single crochets across the arm. So that was 1, 2, and 3, and we should have 3 stitches left. 1, 2, and 3. For row 20, we are going to do 2 single crochets and 1 increase for a total of 24. So 1, 2, and an increase, 3 and 4, 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, and increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, and increase, 23 and 24. For rows 21 to 23, you're just going to do 24 single crochets all the way around, so 1 in each stitch. And that is 3 rows, and I will come back and join you when you're ready to start row 24. Okay, you guys should be done rows 21 to 23. Your 3 rows of 24 single crochets all the way around, and ready to start row number 24. All right. So for row 24, we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 increase for a total of 30. So 1, 2, 3, increase, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, increase, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, and your increase, 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, and our increase, 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, and our increase, 29 and 30. Okay, rows 25 and 26, we are just going to do 30 single crochets all the way around, and then I will come back and we will do a little kind of lip on the edge of his t-shirt. Okay, you should have just finished your 2 rows of 30, row 25 and 26. So now I'm going to pop in an optional row. I'm going to call it 26A, so that if you don't do it, we're still on the same row count as everybody else. But all we're going to do is we're going to make a little lip for his t-shirt, so when we start his pants, we're going to be starting kind of under his shirt. So you're going to want to grab the front loop. So if you've never done that before, and I apologize for the blue, but I think we can see it okay. So if you're doing the front loop, instead of going through both sides of the V, you're going to come in and up. So you're splitting that V from underneath with your hook. Okay, so we're just going to do 30 single crochets in the front loop. If you're not doing the front loop and you want to stick to a different, a little bit easier, but really this isn't that bad, hold tight for 1 row and then we'll start the pants on the next row. So 1 in the front loop, 2 in the front loop, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, oops, I think I went through both there, 11, 12, remember, make sure you're staying on the front loop, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, oops, 19, 20, 21, whoops, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And this is going to be the end of our blue. So we can just go into both. Oh no, we're going to color change to brown. Then we don't have to do that. So if you can see, we now have all the back loops ready to start his pants. Okay, we should all have what looks like the top half of our Jason down to his shirt, and we are going to start the pants. I had a really hard time picking colors. I decided to go with a dark brown because it'll show up better on video. I really wanted to do a dark gray, but just as I started this, my gray was tangled up, and I said, okay, going with brown. So we were just left on row 26A or 26, depending on what part of the pattern you decided to do. And we are going to change our color to the brown. So we're just going to tie the brown on. Oops. It does not want to cooperate. This brown, for some reason, wants to bounce around on me. There we go. And we can cut our blue because we are done with that. Oh yeah. I thought I already cut it, but I didn't. Okay. So now if you did 26A, you're going to be working in the back loops now. If you didn't, you're just going to be going through right here where there is no row 26A. So flip your stitch marker. Row 27 is just going to be 30 single crochets all the way around. So if you're doing it the way I'm doing it, you're going to be going in the back loop now. Yeah. So right here, one, two, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I think I hit my screen and my thing stopped recording. So we got 5 stitches of 30 in the back loop. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, oops, and that last one might be hard to grab, 30. So for rows 28 to 30, you're just going to keep going 30 single crochets all the way around. And then I think I'm going to come back with row 31. With my previous videos, it's all the same rows. It's just it will be in a lighter brown than this. I will show you where you're going to start your first stitch here, just so flip your stitch marker, just so you can keep going around in your next rows. So you're just going to go right there. So that'll be number 1. Okay. So do your 3 rows of 30 and also when I throw in the rest, I'm going to just finish it right to the feet. The last, I think, 4 rows of the feet, we're going to change colors, gray or black, probably, to do the shoes. I think I'm just going to leave the video I have already in there, and I'm going to just kind of pop in a little note to change color, because I don't need to do a whole bunch of editing and splitting and stuff just to show you guys how to change the color for the last 4 rows, especially after you've gotten this far. So I will see you in the next part. Good luck, and by the time I see you, your little Jason is going to look like a cute little guy. See you in a few. Okay, you should be done your 6 rows of 30 single crochet and ready to start row 31. And so for row 31, we're going to do 3 single crochets and 1 decrease for a total of 24. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease for 4, 5, 6, 7, and a decrease for 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, oops, 14, 15, and a decrease for 16, 17, 18, 19, decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24. Now if you're going rogue and off pattern and using safety eyes because you don't want to crochet an eye, which I totally get, you're going to want to put them in now because we're going to close him up pretty soon. If you want to wrap these strings up to get them out of your way, we can do that now. And we are going to put some stuffing in. So you're going to want to fill his head fairly firm, but don't stuff it so full that you start stretching the stitches, especially down here at the bottom where you were decreasing. Just kind of keep pushing it up to get that round shape. actually used a surprising amount of stuffing. Okay, we're getting close here. Just tuck a little bit around the sides and the bottom of the head. So that's pretty good, I think. And we'll put a little bit in his body. The body does not need to be near as firm as his head was. Don't fill it right to the top or you're going to struggle a lot more doing the legs. So I'm just going to pop this in here before you close him up and start his legs. I thought, what if his mask is removable and the mask comes off? Do you want his face to just be blank? So I decided to just pop a couple of eyeballs in there. I believe these are 14 millimeter. That's what the package says, but they look a little small, so I'm not sure. So they are on row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're between 10 and 11. And then I just found about center, and I went over to the third hole. So 1, 2, 3, and then the third hole on the other side. 1, 2, and then 3. And if you want to give him a nose, I would just do simple. Just go back and forth a couple of times with the same color as his face, in and out like this, 1 or 2 stitches. And then a mouth, if you want, just do a little tiny. I might leave him like this, but that might be something I do later on after the mask is done. Okay, back to your project. So to get started on the legs, we're just going to set ourselves up with the right amount of stitches and put our little markers in that we need. So you're going to find your center, fold it in half. And you want to find the center on each side. So I'm going to go about there. So this will be the back side. Where's my needle? This will be the back side, and then this stitch will be the front side. And we are going to count 12 stitches from this stitch, or 6 stitches from this stitch over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this will be the end of your first leg. And you're going to go into the 7th stitch and just place your needle in there for now. And that'll be the first stitch of your second leg. So now we're going to count 12 for the second leg, starting with this first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Put the other end of your needle in there, or whatever you're using. And we're just going to tie a string on there, so that when we're doing the first leg, we don't touch this second leg at all and go in the wrong stitches. And I'm just going to tie a little bow there. However you do it, make sure it's easy to undo, because you're going to start running into some space issues when you start getting it going on the legs. So now you should have 12 stitches on this side and 12 stitches on this side. And don't worry how it looks. We got this kind of loose over here. They will be even once we get going. Okay, for row 1 of the leg, we are going to put 12 single crochets all the way around. And you may be a touch off on your stitch count with me. That's okay, as long as you have 12 stitches going around. So for me, it's 1, 2, and we don't go into this stitch. That's where our stitch marker is. We turn around. We don't go into this stitch where our stitch marker is. We'll go into this one. So for me, it's 3, and you can pull that tight if you need to. 4. Well, that one definitely needs to be pulled tighter. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that should bring you right back around to put your next stitch in your next row where your stitch marker is. Okay, so rounds 5 to 6, we're just going to do 12 single crochets all the way around. So round 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Move your stitch marker. So round 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Flip your stitch marker. Round 4, we'll do another 12 all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Round 5, another 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And our last row, row 6. 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that was row 1 to 6. Now for row 7, we are going to do 1 single crochet and 1 increase for a total of 18. So 1, 2, and 3 for our increase, 4, increase 5 and 6, 7, increase 8 and 9, 10, increase 11 and 12, 13, increase 14 and 15, 16, and our last increase 17 and 18. For row 8, we're just going to do 18 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now we're going to add our stuffing. You're going to want this to be a bit on the firm side because he's going to be standing on his legs, and you may have to go up in here a little bit, just so you don't have like a kink or a crinkle there in the leg. And when you get to the end of your leg, you want the stuffing to be straight across, kind of flat, even. Ooh, I'm getting that up in the tummy instead of the leg. Kind of even, so it's straight across here. I think I'm going to have to up that a little bit. Because you want this to be flat when you close it and not round. And he will kind of stand up on his own if you manipulate him a little bit. You can always add a little bit extra once you're done the last round before you close up if you need to. We'll see how this goes. I have enough already, but that might be in my way. Okay, for the next round, we're going to be going in the back loops. So, instead of going through here like we've been doing our normal stitches, we are going to go down through this V in the middle, and we're going to be coming up, whoops, through that stitch right there. Okay, so for round 9, in the back loop, we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 decrease for a total of 5 stitches. So 1, and 2 is a decrease, 3, and 4 is a decrease. Try not to get the stuffing as you're going in. 5, and 6 is a decrease. 7, 8 is a decrease. 9, 10 is a decrease. 11 and 12 is a decrease. Now I'm going to just add a little bit more stuffing before I do my last row here. Make sure it's staying flat and you're not adding too much, but this is fairly firm. Okay, for row 10, you're just going to do 6 decreases. And we're going to go how we would normally go under both loops of the V. So 1 decrease, 2 decreases, 3 decreases. Oops, I lost my string there somehow. So you keep going, I'm going to catch up. 4 decreases. 5 decreases. And 6 decreases. And then you're just going to put a slip stitch in the next stitch. And pull yourself a little bit of a tail to tie around. And then we're going to stitch this up. So thread your yarn onto your needle. I'm going to go through the front loops. And you're going to cinch that up and pull it nice and tight. Find a spot where you can tie it and hide your knot down inside. And I'm only going to do one because I'm going to be tying both legs together back here in the body, so I don't have to worry too much about the confidence of that knot, because I'll have a better knot up here. And you're just going to pull it through somewhere near the center in the back of your little character until you pull that nice and tight. And then we'll start on the other leg. Okay, you're just going to make a little loop on your string, but leave yourself a tail of about, I don't know, 12 or so inches long, because you're going to use this tail to sew up this hole that's left here at the end. So you want to make it just about the size of your hook to fit in there. And on the back side, you are going to come in the next stitch from where you marked your leg stitch for the second leg. And you're going to grab your yarn You're going to pull that loop through, and you're just going to do a slip stitch. And then you're going to start your 12 single crochets with your first one in that same stitch you just slip stitched in. So for round 1, 12 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now your stitches might be different than me. My 11th stitch is going to be going where I marked that stitch for the second leg. So for me that's 11. Then you're going to turn it around. And you're going to go in your 12th stitch is where your other side of your marker is. And pull that tight. You don't want it any looser than it needs to be. It's a little tricky, but just take your time, get it right. Okay, so that's 12. I'm going to take out my marker. You don't need it there anymore, and I'm just going to use it as my new stitch marker for the second leg. And make sure you keep this string out so it's easy to get to when you're finishing off. Alright, so stitch marker. And now we are going to do rows 5 to 6, 12 single crochets, and then continue on for the foot. But I'm going to do that off camera, and I will just put a little screenshot after this into the next frame, and you can finish that on your own, and then we'll come back and close up and tie off these arms. Okay, you should have a little guy that's starting to look like this, and depending how far ahead you've got, I still have my strings to tie here, so I'm just going to show you what I do for those. So because we want these to be flat, I give them a little tug, flatten them out with my strings that I use to tie the bottoms. And you're just going to give those a tie. Fairly tight so you can keep them flat. And then string them up. Whoops. And you're just going to pull those up somewhere in the backs. Then you have your tail you left when you did your second leg. And you're going to find that hole. And you're just going to go in those 2 stitches where you tied your original. I can't get the light in there. That don't really help. So the 2 side stitches on each side of the leg, you're just going to go in and out of them and pull that little spot closed. Try not to pull your stitches too much, or your legs, because you don't want to spread your stitches out too much. And just keep going in and out 3 or 4 times till you're happy. And if you start pulling a stitch, like see that stitch pretty open right there, just go 1 stitch higher, just the 1 time, and that should kind of help with the pressure on that 1 stitch. And then you're just going to tie it off. Now you will have your stitch markers gone, but I might use this as a pattern for another guy, so I just, in case I want to count my rows, I'm going to keep my stitch markers in. And then you'll just throw that inside and out his body somewhere. Oh, my light's right in the frame here. There we go. So you want to go in where you were doing your stitches and then just come out somewhere. I think I'm going to come out the brown. Then we're going to give those 2 a little cut. You may already have this done by now. If you've done these before, this is more for if you're a beginner or if this is one of your first times. So for the arms, you're going to take that little string you left and you're going to go down into, if you can see where, this is where you stitched your arm on. One of these 2 stitches, I think I'm going to go 1 ahead, and then you'll come out the center back, and then you're going to do that with the other arm. Right close where you stitched him on. Come out that same hole. Sorry if this is too dark for you to see, but and then you're going to cinch these arms in by pulling those strings. So we got that one. Oop, I can't grab it. And that one. And that just helps them keep from being floppy. If you're making the jacket, it's not really going to matter much. But if you want to use that technique in any other project you make, that's the way I like to do mine. Okay, so I think next, I was going to do the jacket, but I think I'm going to do the mask and the knife as a part 2. Just because if you weren't sure where to put the eyes, you can get the mask done and then pop your eyes in before you do the jacket, and you kind of got your, if you're not making the jacket, you've got your guy done, and you don't have to go through, figure out part 2, part 3, whatever I've done. I guess this is about the end here. I lost my darning needle. There it is. If you see anything in the background you like, I have a video for everything shown. If you go to my playlist or on my channel, make sure you've hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the things that I do, because you will be notified with a notification when I upload a new video. Don't forget, I'll have my Facebook craft page down in the bottom somewhere if you want to share your work with me. Everything you need to know for the next parts will be down in the description. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in more of my videos. Have a great day, and happy crocheting.